Hello everyone, how's it going? How are you doing? How's fall treating you? I hope you're doing well. Let's talk about some short Dramione fanfictions today. I was on vacation for about 2 weeks visiting my in-laws. During that time, I was reading 2 of the books from my bookshelf. If you saw my previous video, I'm trying to read all the books that I own. I was reading 2 of them and boy, it wasn't going well for me. I ended up not finishing both of them. I was thinking, I need something fun. I need something short, something easy, something that's gonna make me feel like I like reading again. I looked up some fan fictions, and I actually wasn't specifically looking for really short ones, but I happened to find some short ones within the, I guess I'll say, trope that I was looking in. So whenever I get these, like sometimes I get these on Pinterest, which is kind of strange. But when I'm making these videos, I do look up the art that goes along with the fan fiction on Pinterest. And so it has some of that, it has some Dramione stuff on it sometimes. And I found this like these marriage law recommendations, which I was thinking, you know what the heck? What the heck, marriage law? Let's go ahead, let's do it. If it's not a really long one, even when it is a long one sometimes, but if it's not a really long one, the marriage law is like so far-fetched sometimes. But if you just suspend your disbelief, they can be really fun. So I was looking at the word count of some of them and I was like, I'll just start with the shortest one and kind of move on from there. So the first that I read was, and I'm also going to talk about Amor, Vincit, Omnia. Amor, Vincit, Omnia. I'm going to be talking about that at the end. So I read 3 short fics. A First Time, that was the first one, Love a Lie, and Ties That Bind. So A First Time is very short. You can read it in like a couple of minutes. Posted in 2020. It's by Lil's Bills. Now, this is just kind of short and they already, let me look at my notes. It wasn't really necessarily for me. This was only 12 pages. So when I say short, like, yeah, it was super short. It's a marriage law contract, but Draco's kind of like, in my opinion, he's like kind of silly and unbelievable. He's not really recognizable that much to the original Draco. There's not much else to say about it. It's like one scene. It's a one shot for sure. And it's his first time and that's that. And they like already like each other. They like literally already had big crushes on each other. So I mean, it's one scene. What are you gonna do? So I'm not saying I don't like one shots. I think one shots can be fine, but in general, it's like there's not enough time to really build anything. Period. Next, we had Love a Lie by Ampersand. It was 50 pages, so it's a little bit longer. I've read a couple ones that were 50 pages before, and it's generally enough time to have one storyline. So if it's just like the romance thing, it's generally enough time to do that with 0 filler. So I did really want this one, the length was fine for what it was. It was actually fine. The next one, I really wanted it to be longer, but this one was like 50 pages. That was enough. That was all we needed. This one babes, it was hot. This Draco was pretty book accurate. He seemed, you know, like just as kind of dark and stoic, but good as you would expect. It's set a few years after the books. She's kind of, you know, normal-ish. She's like hot-headed, big temper, but she like wants to get things done, you know. So it was fairly accurate as far as the characterization went. Their gradual attraction toward each other was really well done. There's this kind of reveal a little bit, if you will, at the end that I was thinking about it for days afterward. So anyway, the premise of this is that there is a marriage law going around that like everyone has to get married. By the way, if you don't know what marriage law is, it essentially is this like trope of essentially it's like, you know, there's like a external reason for them getting together. That's pretty much what it is. So marriage law is like, for some reason, in this case, for some reason, whoever has decided that every witch and wizard needs to get married and needs to produce kids soon, because otherwise there's not going to be any kids. So anymore, like they're going to go extinct. So I don't need to be getting into the logistics of this, but that's usually what it is. And in this case, they got to choose who they wanted to be with, I guess, and she propositioned Draco because he was about to go to Azkaban. His reputation is shot, and she needs his money, or she wants his money to just do a bunch of stuff to kind of rebuild the country. He obliges, and they act like they hate each other. Like, I would never do that. But obviously, it's fine. Obviously, neither of them she wouldn't have suggested it, and he wouldn't have said yes if either of them literally thought it was a bad idea or literally hated each other. Oh, they're pretty civil in their hatred toward each other. Like, nothing really horrible happens. She does try to burn down a whole wing of the manor, though, and then he, like, takes her kind of seriously after that, and he adds her to all of his accounts and his, you know, estates, etc. They go out in public, and they, like, act like they're together, and to be honest, I love this. It's kind of like fake dating. It's like, what's real, what's not. So she's starting to feel the vibes from him because he's such a, what is it, purebred aristocrat. He's such a, like, purebred aristocrat that he's, like, so good at everything. He just charms everyone. They are required to sleep in the same bed as part of the marriage law, but he, like, comes to bed after she's asleep and leaves before she wakes up. So it's like, they don't even see each other that much. But one night she has a dream, and she says his name. And then she wakes up and he's there, like, sleeping, and she's like, oh my god, but I didn't actually say anything out loud. And she, like, goes to the bathroom and she's, like, freaking out. And then she comes out and he's gone. Then they do an interview with the prophet, and it's feeling very real. I mean, she's really under his spell. I'm not saying it's like he's being fake, but he's laying it on thick, and she's, like, getting flustered. I mean, I can relate with that so well. I could never, I don't want to say I relate. This obviously situation has never happened to me before, but just the thought of somebody who's attractive pretending for press or whatever in front of other people, like, going all out that they're in love with me. Oh, stop. Oh, stop. I would not. What is up, what is down? I wouldn't know. I would be completely under their spell. Then they go to a gala for St. Mungo's because she, like, gave a bunch of money to them. And somebody, it goes really well, but somebody there says something really offensive to Hermione. Draco hears it and he says, that's my wife you're speaking to. Oh. 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 So she actually, like, holds him back because she doesn't want him going to Azkaban, and so he doesn't really get in a fight there, and she takes him to a dark corner, and to calm him down, she's thinking, like, what can I do? Yell at him? Slap him? Anyway, she kisses him, of course, and it's getting pretty good, and then he cuts it off, and he's like, I apologize, and they leave. Later, she's in bed. She's still feeling pretty bothered about it. And I actually am not going to explain what happens. It's only 50 pages. You can read it yourself, but it was super hot and super, super sweet. Essentially, the reveal is that he knows that she's crazy about him. And he's so crazy about her too. And it was so well done, and it was very sweet. And the last 7 pages were just, you can imagine. You can imagine. Next, we're going to talk about Ties That Bind. This one is also 50 pages, and it's Ties That Bind, and in parentheses, oh my god, Conjunctionis Ligaveris is, like, that's a spell. By Tattoos and High-Heeled Shoes. I really wanted it to be longer because the way that they went about this story was so good. I was just thinking I could just eat this up. I could read this for a long time, so I was really liking it. Pretty much, there is a marriage law going into effect, and nobody's going to know about it. But you are going to be paired with the person who has the highest, like, compatibility score with you if you're not already married. They find out about it. They, meaning, like, Harry, Ron, blah, 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 find out about it a few hours early. So they're going to go ahead and, like, everyone's going to get married. Like, Harry and Ginny are going to get married. And then I don't know who else. There's a couple other couples, like Neville and somebody. And George and Angelina Johnson, etc. So they're going to get married, and Ron is, like, owling Hermione, but she's, like, in Australia or something, and he's like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get to her in time, blah, blah, blah. So he's, like, super depressed. They are not together, though. And now, Shocking. Okay, it's just shocking. I just remembered that was the beginning of the story. There's some things that come out about Ron. They're gonna get married before midnight when this goes into effect, so that they won't have to be paired with somebody who they don't know or whatever. But when Hermione gets the letters, it's too late. But she's like kind of relieved, and I was kind of thinking, hell yeah, girl! Like she doesn't want to marry Ron, but she's like not super relieved. She's just thinking like, okay, it was meant to be. Like this is all gonna work out. She's not thinking she has somebody in mind or anything. But she gets also at the same time, she gets the letter that like already did their compatibility. Or did they already do it, or did she have to go in? Yeah, she just gets a letter saying that her like magical core compatibility is highest with somebody, and that's the person they've chosen, and the person obviously is Draco Malfoy. And it was a 93%. So that's literally the first... What is that? That's the first 6 pages. So it gets going really fast. She's just kind of shocked. But she actually works with Draco. So she knows him like pretty well outside of the school. She doesn't know how he's going to react, but they're supposed to have a baby within the first, 18 months or something. They're supposed to get pregnant within the first year, I think. Then, the next scene, they're having a conversation like, oh my gosh, how is this going to work? So and to be honest, it's like so fast. I was kind of sad because like I want to... Like, let's take our time a little bit, guys. And Draco, like, he works with the Ministry, and he seems like pretty normal Draco. But then there's a scene where we see a bunch of his past, and ooh, it was very dark. And also Hermione's past, and it was very dark, and she was really, really traumatized by the Cruciatus, and that, like, did a number on her physically. So what they have to do is they go into testing. They go into testing, and they get all of their memories extracted that have anything to do with their partner. Like the memories that they have about the other person. And then they also have like anything that would kind of affect like a relationship. So it's shocking. I couldn't believe it was crazy. Anyway, so they extract all of his. And then they extract all of hers. And when we see hers first, and they're getting extracted. And it was some pretty intimate stuff for sure. But anyway, point is, there's a lot of Ron bashing here. Some horrible things happen to her. She is either scared to or unable to be intimate with somebody. So she was in a relationship with Ron, but that was a big hang up for him, as well as he was very terrible to her about it, as if she can like control it or something. So she had all of those memories, which those obviously don't have anything to do with Draco, but like they're relevant to her, like having a baby, etc. And then also some memories of her, like maybe later in life, like once they started working together, of her like having a crush on Draco. So we see that, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, he's gonna see all of this, like, so vulnerable, crazy. Well, then we see his, and it was so much worse. It was so much worse. So we saw a bunch of his memories, and there were memories with his dad where there was a lot of abuse going on that was really intense. And then also there was a scene that I really didn't like, which was post the punch in the 3rd year. I mean, it was really short, but still, it's just the idea of it. I was like, ugh. Because he's only 13 or 14? 13 or 14. Oh, yeah, he's only 13. So it's like, okay. I didn't like that. But anyway, the point is that he's been harboring a crush on her for so many years, too. As well as there was this memory of him that day, that morning, going to Kingsley, who's the Minister of Magic, and saying, I'm going to pay the fine for not getting pregnant in 1 year. And Kingsley was like, huh? And he said, I just want to pay it right now up front. And it's like the cost of a huge house. Like, it was a very expensive fine. And he was like, no problem, I'll do it. And Kingsley was like, I don't get it. And he said, like, it's gonna take more time than that. Because like, he's in love with her, so he doesn't want there to be some like external force causing them to have to be faster than he wants them to be, or than they should be. Oh my gosh. That was so sweet. And can you imagine? So she was like, when she saw that, oh, Okay. So anyway, the rest of the story is essentially them like, he's like trying to go really slow for her because he knows that she has some, you know, trauma. So he goes really, really slow for her, and they just like become closer and are just, I mean, getting to know each other, I guess. And then at the very end, she takes Veritaserum so that he knows for sure that she's ready when she says she's ready. So anyway, it was cute. It was sweet. I wish it was longer. I love, you know me. I love when he's been in love with her for a long time. Oh my gosh. That was another really great one. Then we're going to get on to Amor, Vincit, Omnia. This is actually a personal recommendation. Like somebody personally recommended this to me after watching some of my videos. I've gotten a few recommendations for this. So, and speaking of him being in love with her for a long time, it's by Twin Flame Blues, twin_flame_blues. The summary. After 3 years of dating, Ron admits he cheated on Hermione for 2 of those years with Daphne Greengrass, and Harry knew all about it. Reeling from the betrayal by her friends and family, Hermione must rebuild her life and discover new bonds with an unlikely group, including Theo, Not Blaze Zabini, and Pansy Parkinson. I'm into it. 100% Jonathan. Ooh, yes. Yes, okay, I don't mind a little bit of Ron bashing, okay, and I even will deal with a little bit of Harry bashing. And then I love having a Slytherin group of friends. I really like it. And I like her, you know, kind of rebuilding herself after friendships have gone awry. Now, then it gets a little bit not so much my cup of tea. What happens when Draco Malfoy, her first and deepest love, suddenly reappears in Hermione's life and she finds that her feelings have only grown deeper with time? And once again, I'm like, okay, that's great. She's been in love with him for a long time. We love to see it. Then, what is OR? O-R? Does that stand for something? Hermione and Draco secretly dated at Hogwarts. He left after his trial and now he's returned to win her back. Slightly less to my tastes because now it's second chance romance. Second chance romance is so hard. It is so hard to do. And maybe I'm just picky about it, but I feel like it's a general consensus that it's just a difficult one to get right because the thing that broke them up has to be big enough that it makes sense, but small enough that they could forgive them. Oh, it's such a hard balance to strike. So when I first saw that, I was like, then there's another side to it, which is dating at school. Not my favorite. That means we're not really learning about them falling in love. And when we are learning about them falling in love, it's when they were kids. Now she does make a point of saying that they do get together when they're minors, but there's nothing explicit is written when they're minors, which I really appreciate that. However, in my opinion, it's not even just about the explicit stuff. That is like totally off the table, but also on top of that, I don't like reading. It's just not my favorite to read about teenagers. I mean teenagers, like 14, falling in love so deeply at that age. It's like, what can we really believe, you know? I mean, listen, have I not been 14? I have. I only got 178 pages into it. It's 709 pages. This is kind of a long one. Let's see what it's 288,000 words. I didn't hate it. I did not hate it, but I figured if I'm not liking it now, I think I'd better just put it down. I didn't think that there was anything wrong with it, that it was bad, that it was badly written, that, you know, there was something that I was opposed to or anything. It just was not quite my kind of story because it had that, I'll just explain, but essentially, I'll just explain. So the issue with her and Ron was like, I was into it. I was eating it up. Her being betrayed by her friends, eating it up. This is great story stuff. But then we find out that she was dating Draco, and we have a lot of flashbacks. Started dating Draco in the second half of 4th year. And a lot of the things that happened that he like did to her, he didn't do to her. So it's a lot of rewriting, like the bad things. And she's friends with Theo, Blaze, Pansy, which is great. And then Draco's like kind of comes onto the scene because he was in a different country. Then he was in America. Then he finds out that she and Ron broke up, and she's like been betrayed by all of her friends. And he comes back to the country and is like, now's my chance to win her back. Essentially, is what he was thinking. Now, the reason they broke up, you find out, is because he just doesn't want to taint her like reputation. After his trial, she like vouched for him, etc. But after his trial, he's like, I'm bad for you, pretty much, and he leaves. That was years ago. Then she started dating Ron for years, but he cheated on her, obviously. George is really cool in this one. I really like George. She's a good friend with him, too. Both Harry and Ginny, they suck. Where I started to feel like this might not be for me, was when they started the really intense flashbacks. Now, they have a lot of flashbacks that are pretty long. When we started learning about, the first flashback we get was in 5th year, and he's going to meet her parents. It's like before 5th year. And I'm thinking, before 5th year? That is so early. But it's before 5th year. He's going to meet her parents. She's already met his mom, and his mom, like, it loves her. It's like, okay. It talks about how they met in 4th year, like how things started then, and how he was like kind of obsessed with her. As soon as we know it, they're saying, I love you. They are so in love. They're hanging out all the time. Everything is going great. And here's where the disconnect is for me. Saying you're in love and being in love at 14, 15, fine, no problem. Happens all the time. Once you break up, well, first of all, they were together until they were 17 and 18. Once you break up, and maybe even before that, because like you've been together for a lot of development years, you would start to think like, whoa, love? I think that's a pretty normal reaction. Like once he broke up with her, I think it would be after a little while, like maybe after 6 months, a year, it would be really normal for her to be like, that was a little bit crazy, you know, especially in the beginning. Now, maybe still harboring a crush on him, maybe still thinking like, oh, as an adult, maybe I could love him, but that was like childhood days. Sure. But being in love and never questioning like, hey, I was super young when that happened. I think it's really rare to get in a relationship at freshman year of high school and then by 22 still be like, and it was the biggest love of my life and it was the most amazing. It's like, that was kitty love, you know? I mean, how can we really, not really quantifiable on the same basis as adult love. So that was hard for me because I was thinking, they're in love. So what's the point of 700 pages? They are literally in love. And they have been since they're 14. So that is why I decided not to finish this one. I'm not saying not ever, and I'm not saying like I hated it, it's bad, don't read it. I think for people who like second chance romance, for people who like them dating in school, being, you know, secret, loving each other for a long time, then you'll really like this one. I think that if he would have come back, like let's say they didn't date in high school and all of this stuff happened with Ron, and then he came back and was like, he came back because he's like, oh my gosh, I've been in love with Hermione for years and like maybe now's my chance. Or like she really needs a friend and like maybe I can be somebody in her life now. That would have been great for me. I appreciate the recommendation. It definitely is like, I mean, he's been in love with her for a long time. That's probably why somebody recommended it to me, because I said I like that so much. And I do, and I'm sorry. I didn't think it was quite enough to have a whole video about just this, so that's why I'm talking about it in this little video. And anyway, if you've read it, what did you think? Have you read any of these shorter ones, or would you? Oh, man, sometimes a short one is like, it's just. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any other recommendations, what have you been reading lately that you've loved? I'd love to hear it. And I'll see you in the next one.